Hey guys, welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews, and today we're going to talk about Google making their own console and joining the console race, because apparently that's what's going to happen at GDC, at least according to every rumor and the leaks of the Google controller and all of this stuff going on. Let's unpack this, because there's a lot built up in there, alright? And my colon can only take so much pressure. So, for those of you who don't know, but GDC's starting off. And GDC is the Game Developers Conference. Supposedly, at GDC, Google has some huge unannounced announcement. Hence why it's an announcement, because no one knows about unannounced. Yeah, cool. So, there's been a leak of the controller. That's kind of where a lot of this started. There was like the rumor mill going, saying, oh, they're gonna have a console. Then all of a sudden we got a leak of the controller. That's when we got something tangible to say, all right, maybe Google's gonna make a console. But it kind of makes sense, I guess, because Google's already in every other market, and you know, world domination is kind of a hard thing. The controller's really ugly and it looks horribly uncomfortable. This does not look like a controller where I'm like, damn, I want to hang on to that. Like, don't get me wrong, for shooter games, yeah, Xbox has probably the best controller. Sony's grew on me really, really hard. It's one of those, like, Sony's is one of those ones that just feels good in the hand after a long period of time. Xbox's is like that. It's really good for shooters. And they all kind of have their things that they do differently, and pros and cons. And Google's doesn't look like it has any pros or cons. It looks just terrible. It looks like my controller if I let a kid who was blind draw it. Okay, maybe that was an over-exaggeration, but let's be honest. It is not the kind of thing you expect to come out of Google. Google has some of the brightest minds, Unless, I mean, they've just gotten rid of all their talent, because apparently I hear they have quite a toxic workplace sometimes. But let's be fair here. Maybe it plays and feels better than it looks. Can't really judge it until it's out, but it looks like a terrible console. Controller, not the console. Haven't seen the console, know nothing about the console. Swear to God. Freudian slip, sorry, brain hasn't been working too good, drinking lots of coffee. Trying to get it back to normal. So, after the controller, we don't know if this has removable batteries, internal chargeable batteries. There's still a lot of blanks there. Now, with the console, supposedly it's codenamed as Project Yeti. That's what everyone's spectating, because no one knows what this Project Yeti is. We just know that they're working on something called Project Yeti. We found that out right around when they started doing their streaming service. Google tested their Google streaming service and it ran Assassin's Creed Odyssey swimmingly well, as long as you had the internet connection to be able to handle it. Mine would have handled it just fine. I unfortunately did not get a way to play that. I tried to get access to it. I thought it would have been really cool to test that. But if we're being fair, the overlords at Google probably aren't very fond of me most days. So, moving on. There was a teaser video. They released a teaser video, okay? Just small little teaser. Just enough to get you a little moist, alright? And this teaser video shows off a couple different locations and kind of gives you an idea that there's going to be a lot of different offerings on whatever this is. Shows like at the start of a race, and I mean literally there is nothing you could gain really outside of this teaser video unless you instantly associate it to a game console. That is the only way that this actually corresponds to that. I'm just kind of curious to which way this is gonna go. So I'm not really, as I said, shocked that they would make a console, but we don't know what the console is going to look like. No idea. No clue on what it's going to look like. Is it going to be running a crude version of Android? We should probably go ahead and assume that it's going to be running some kind of version of Android. I think that's a safe bet at this point. So now if that's running on Android, does that mean I'm going to start to see more games come for Android, because I'm not against this, but if you keep in mind, Apple's released a console before. I know some of you are like, what? What do you mean Apple released a console? It was called the Pippin. It was a hot mess. It was a dumpster fire. It doesn't even look like you look at that thing and you're like if the N64 was made for business work. That's what it looks like. That is what the Pippin looked like. It looked like a N64 that would be in your office for spreadsheets. Yeah. Missed the marketing on that one, didn't you, Apple? So, I don't know. I don't know what kind of platform they're bringing here. If it is Android, are we gonna have voice chat? I mean, you have to now be competitive to Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Where are we gonna fit you in that? And I don't think there can really be more than 3. 3 is the magic number with game consoles. There will always be 3 console manufacturers. So it's always been how it's been. And so it's weird, because like you got the main 2, it'll be PlayStation and Xbox. They will always duke it out for living room dominance. And then you've got the Switch, which pretty much everyone's going to buy as like a second console, or a second platform if you're PC, because it offers its own unique twist on everything, and there's kind of like a status quo, okay? Where are you gonna fit in that status quo? And shockingly enough, there's also a rumor going around that they've partnered with Sega. Because that sounds like the greatest way to get your console off the ground. I mean, it could be. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of new Sonic games. Oh, is Sonic gonna have another real-life relationship this time? I don't have faith in Sega as a standalone game developer to be able to make this a big hit for you. Unless Google reached out to Sega and they're like, hey, we can become competitive if we have your IPs. We will give you financing and help you with development. Maybe then could Sega start to compete again with the big boys. But literally, they've done everything to Sonic but kill him. That's pretty much what has happened. Sonic is a bastardized... literally, when I think of Sonic, I think of the, let me show you the way. Like, that is the only thing that comes to mind anymore. I like the old school Sonic games. Sonic Mania was awesome. But when it comes to 3D Sonic games, they can't do it anymore. They don't know how. They don't have the development talent. But even if you look at their other games, so you've got Yakuza right now coming under a whole bunch of fire. They just pulled Yakuza from shelves because of the voice actor supposedly getting caught with some cocaine. This is why you don't blow lines out of hookers' butt cracks, alright? Kids, just future reference for you. Don't do that when offered. Unless she's not a hooker and she's like grade A, maybe. So, now, Sega just doesn't have the game IPs to really drive it. I mean, Yakuza's okay. Crazy Taxi, half of you kids probably don't even remember Crazy Taxi. I had a Dreamcast, and I used to go to arcades, so obviously I remember Crazy Taxi. Then, what else did they have? House of the Dead was them. That's fine, that's good. That's an arcade shooter, so unless you have a light gun attachment, But with a light gun attachment, yes, House of the Dead is fantastic. Jet Grind Radio, I would take a predecessor to Jet Grind Radio. That would be fantastic. We're not gonna get it. I would just cool your jets on that. I just don't see where Sega would have been the first choice that I would have partnered with. But I mean, this is also from the company who has so many issues with YouTube's algorithm, letting you upload videos, plenty of issues. So I am curious, do you guys trust Google? The company who literally tracks your cookies to sell you stuff and give you better search results on what you might be trying to buy. That is how they operate. Google is an advertising company. That is it. They are not a tech company. They're an advertising company. You are an advertising asset to Google. Hang on. I need to answer a call on my Android. Hey, Google? No? She's not listening today. Yeah, I was just making a point.
I don't understand.
She's listening. She just didn't understand me. So, I'm just making a point. Do you trust Google? Is Google the company that you would want to have as your game console, especially with how much controversy there are over microtransactions and obviously how many microtransactions are on the Android marketplace? So this is honestly a very important question, and I want your opinions in the comments down below, just because where do you stand with this? Do you feel that Google is the company that you want delivering your video games on an entertainment box? I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. And is crossplay going to be available? Do you think it'll support, like, let's say Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege 2 comes out. I really hope to God they don't name it that. But let's say that comes out and it supports crossplay, because that's something the developers have stated they're very, very interested in, would have loved to do, because it would instantly fix a lot of their player base issues. Is Google's platform going to support it? Who the hell knows? But I'm sure we'll find out at GDC. Guys, if you want to follow me anywhere else, my links are as always in the description box down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, any of you who do share my videos on other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, thank you so much. I appreciate that immensely. And if you're new here, ding the bell, alright? Subscribe, ding the bell. Ladies love people that subscribe to BPGR. Next time you're at a bar, just pull out your phone and be like, "See, girl? I subscribe to BPGR." And ladies, men really love it when you do the same thing. Okay, I think like 7% of my views come from women. Please subscribe. Guys, I'll see you all soon. I'll have plenty more content coming for you, and stick around.